A license, decide on a license, whatever. Yeah, I got one already. Create a code of conduct, MD, if you want to foster a positive and respectful community, include a code of conduct. Organize your project with folders. Use GitHub issues. Set up CI/CD optional. For smooth collaboration, consider setting contiguous integration, continuous deployment pipelines. Engage with your community. Tag releases. Oh boy, we got a lot to do here. Um, okay, so let's say I don't want to use my current version as the community version. So should I clone it and or will it still be linked? Oh, got it. You want to keep your current version private. You want to start a new community version based on it. That totally makes sense. Here's how you can do it cleanly. Create a fresh repo and push the code. Create a new repository on GitHub. Give it a clear name like Small Business Manager Community on your machine. CD into my project. Copy -R and CD into the copy. Remove the link to your private repo. Reinitialize a Git repo at this point in time. Before sharing, double check for sensitive info like your name, credentials, or usage data. Trim features if needed. You can prune anything you want to keep exclusive in your version. Okay. All right, we're getting the community version of the project going here, boys. This is what you guys have been waiting for. If you guys want to contribute, like I said, I think this is a really awesome opportunity we have. Is I've been able to curate a group of over 500 programmers and developers, whether at various different levels in the Discord, and over 1,000 people on, YouTube alone, right? To hopefully be able, if we are smart about this, and you guys are looking for employment or want to showcase your skills, you guys can be creative about this and use this current community we have and contribute to this project, and show that as like, oh, I've been contributing to this public project with over 500 other developers within this community, right? And you can kind of cleverly word things to make them sound pretty impressive. Like it is impressive. Yeah, the Discord is linked down below in the description of the YouTube, completely for free, right? So, use this to your advantage. This opportunity we have here as a group of developers, or hopefully want to be developers, to you can be creative on these types of things. You don't have to like, specifically, you know, resumes are. It's really kind of it's like a fine line you walk between, not truth and lie, but like truth and, you know I mean, people put like fresh graduates put that they know like 10 languages on their resume when it's just like really do they know all of those things? Like, probably not. So it's just like think about that. And we're not lying about anything. You're working on this project collaboratively with X amount of other developers. Like, use it to your advantage. Okay, so let's go. Let's see here. Let's open the small business manager. And the thing is how should we handle um how should we handle the the database, right? Because when you when you load the program, you have to go into the file path and put in your file path here. So this is my file path, but how do I, what should I do here for the public repo, you guys? Should I remove my file path and then push it? Because then when other people are, when other people are trying to, when they pull it, do edits or whatnot, they'll have to put in their file path and then push it back. Right? And so no matter what, whenever you pull the latest changes from GitHub, you'll have to re-enter or readjust your file path. So maybe that'll be like something, one of the features that we can implement to maybe auto get the path of this file. So like within the current directory, we can have a function to open up the current directory, get the full path of this file and place that as the value of file path. What's embarrassing, Poopachu? Hmm. Okay. So we have our file path here, I guess, doesn't really matter. And then we have everything out of our database. Let's just go like here real quick. Here. Let's run this really quick to clear out that. It auto generates, but it doesn't have any data. So now if we go here, refresh, that's gone now. Right. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. So let's go open up my thing here. Environmental variable .env. All right, whatever. Not much of a difference. .env. Okay, now let's add this up. We'll say config packages, right? We'll just say that. There we go. Push that up. Yeah, it's meant to be local to a single instance. It's not meant to be cloud-based or whatever. It's supposed to stay on your local drive. Okay, so now we are ready, I believe, to push this up, do I want to include this file? Right, this is like our schema. I might rename this file to like schema, database schema. So let's do like db schema so that they just know like it's kind of just for info. Let's git add db schema. Oh, what? No way. Huh. There was add all. We'll just commit and push. All right. Yeah, it's just a SQLite database. It just stores on your local file. In this one, this is just how I created the tables. So it's just kind of information only. I just basically used a blank Python file to be my terminal, like in terms of creating the things. So I also have them here as basically like a referenceable schema you can do as well. And then I was using it to also like remove stuff, like if I wanted to clean things and just test things and stuff. So I couldn't, like, I was thinking about not even including this file, but you know, it kind of could be useful to visualize what the tables are and how I got them. Well, I had to connect to the file path of here. I had to connect in order to do it, right? In order to make these commitments. All right, I think we're ready here. Let's go to GitHub. 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 Let's push this on up. Okay, so it wanted me to. Okay, it said on my machine, go into my project, write copy with a rename of this. SBM community. And then CD into it and then remove the RF kit. Okay, so let's go into the terminal. Let's CD into repos. Let's CD into the small business manager. Let's go ahead and copy on a rename SBM community. Source file, target file. Source file, target directory. So it wants me to do literally like this, copy -r period space period slash SBM community. and then cd dot dot slash SPM community. Okay, so now we're in SPM community in that repo. So now if I go to my Finder, so we basically just made a copy and renamed. Yes, we did. Okay, cool. That's cool. Oh, I imported the file path thing. I imported the file path thing uh, further down the road. Like I just converted it over to make it easier, like when I was submitting the project. So I just haven't done it over here yet, but it's whatever. Okay, so now we need to remove the link to the private repo. So we'll do rm -rf .git. Okay. Now we're going to initialize, and right. Okay. We're gonna git add all, and then git commit -m with, wants me to say this, initial public community version. I like that commit message. As such. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, so that pushed that forward. Now we need to link this to a private repo we need to create on GitHub. So my GitHub username is, what is my GitHub username again? Michael D. Deming. Okay, so then we'll say, I'll take this, and then we'll go into here and do the username as Michael D. Deming. Okay, so now if I go on GitHub, should I have a repo now called Small Business SBM Community? No, not yet. Your repositories. Sort last updated. Huh. Okay. So what did that do? What that ordered? Not sure. So then it wanted us to branch and then push. So git branch -m main git push -u origin main. Fatal repository not found. Okay, yeah, so we haven't created the repository on GitHub. So let me create a repository on GitHub called sbm-community. Okay, so this is called, we're an SBM community in my local, so we'll call Small Business Manager Community, make it public. Okay, we'll create it. and we'll take stuff here, and that pushes it up. So now, refresh this, I have files here. All right, it's public, you guys. Go give it a star or do whatever you want. I don't know. Okay, so the thing is how do we go about keeping this organized, like in terms of like branching and stuff? So we have a main branch, right? Hey, Hustle Crow, thanks for coming in on the chat. Appreciate you for joining me. Uh-oh. So don't worry about the commented out code. This is just like an information file. Like it's not doing anything. Like the only reason I did this instead of using the SQLite within the terminal, right? I just wrote out Python code and then just committed the commits just in a Python file, right? This is how what when I was making my schemas at the beginning of the project, this is what I did to actually do it in terms of like I created these tables. So I left these here for for you guys or for anybody else that's wanting to work on this project alongside me to just see like okay, I can just have a visual schema now. Like it basically just acts as like this a schema for how I did it. And then if you're wanting to quickly just remove the information and clear everything out, you can quickly just uncomment this out, run it really quickly, and then everything is back to blank so you can start testing and doing stuff like that. So it's really just kind of like a FIO file for you to, just reference or quickly remove the data to add new stuff in and start from scratch and test and whatnot. So um all right. Um, appreciate that, Abyssal Ascend. Hey, Modern Sword Saint, I started learning Python. Give me some tips. Yeah, no problem, man. I started with Harvard CS50P and I paired that with the Python Crash Course book. This was a great combo in really kickstarting my learning. Yeah, it kind of does break things down to a more elementary examples and and whatnot. But I really think that that is quite helpful when the information is already hard enough to learn itself. So why make the examples even harder? So just by it really breaks things down into simple examples. I'm currently going back through and doing individual uploads for you guys of the solutions to the try it yourself problems. I got a comment today from somebody that was like saying, "Hey, where's the next one at?" I've been off my ball. Pause, but I haven't been keeping up with them, so I need to upload some more for you guys. But I've been trying to finish this project. Okay, so now you guys, right? You guys should be able to access now a public version of this. So in my repos, you have a small business manager community, um, and you should be able to now get access to all of the code. So it's all there for you guys. Um, I highly encourage you guys to work along this with me. Look it over. Find opportunities. I trust me. There's a lot of different. I'm not saying like I'm learning every day. I'm trying my best just to learn as best I can and be transparent with you guys and just spread kindness and really just spread positive energy regarding this. I feel like there's a lot of negativity in terms of learning computer science right now, and I think it can be rather fun just to learn for fun. At the end of the day, it is supposed to be for fun. Nothing in life is supposed to be too serious. Um, and so if like wars happened and whatnot, then all of this stuff would go out of the window. Then it comes down to basic survival. So, it's all supposed to be for fun. So, I highly encourage you guys to work on this with me. Go ahead and clone this onto your own local, disks, and then branch off and create new features, and then try to merge those branches back into your, local copies, and then submit those to merge back into the actual community one on the GitHub here. I really use it to your advantage. Like, take advantage of people in the Discord. So right now, what we're gonna do is in the Discord, I'm gonna bring this over. Oh, I don't want to really spread out people's usernames, but they've given Okay, so what we'll do is in the Discord here, what we'll do is let's go ahead and shout out to those in the Discord here, giving chats. Addy Hadar, welcome into the Discord. Tim, shout out on the Discord here. So we're gonna go ahead and create a um. Let's go ahead and where should we put it? Should we make a new category completely, right? Maybe create category for like open source. Why can't I make this all caps? Oh no, create category. There we go. Open source. And then what kind of emoji should we do here? Um, uh, what kind of emoji should we do? Like the mail? The mail is kind of good. Like you can get and send stuff. Let's look up on the emojis open. Is there like an open sign? Yeah, so they suggest mail as well. um, I don't know. Any guys got a better recommendation than the mailbox for open source? Chef emoji? Hello, Julio and Enrique, how's it going? Hey, AG, welcome back, man. Um, brain emoji? Brain emoji? Is that open source? I wish there was like an open sign, like a neon open sign, or like maybe we won't make a category. Let's just. It's the animal that was popular. The otter, I think, was the popular animal. So we want to create a new category called. Let's just make it called open source right now. Okay, so we got an open source category now. Let's create a new. Um, how should we do this? What do you guys think? Should we do like a form post? Make this a form? Like, should we use like a form or just a general chat? Because this is where I want people to like, come up with ideas, like, and submit, hey, I'm gonna, like, these are some features that we want to add. Like, I'm thinking like I'll list out some features through like a pinned message of what we want to add, and then someone can come along and say, hey, I want to build that feature, and then they can go ahead and try to take it on. And then we can assign that basically to that user and say, hey, this user is going to try to build this feature, let's go ahead and let them go for it, and you can kind of claim features from there basically, right? So maybe we should just have it be a discussion post with a pinned message. So let's create a new channel called the Small Business Manager Community, right? And then um, we'll go ahead and leave that there. I started the Harvard CS50 course on the 1st of January 2025. So a little over 4 months here, a little under 4 months. The final project, honestly, is what took me the longest amount of time. I think I finished all the lectures at the beginning of March. So um, the final project is what really, it's a big thing. So it's my biggest project I've done yet. So, okay, so now we have this. So what we'll do is I'm going to say, we'll say, welcome to the Small Business Manager Community um, project. We'll say, this was my final project for Harvard CS50X 2025, and there was a lot of interest in opening up the source code to the YouTube, Twitch, and Discord members. I So here we are opening up the project for everyone to look at, learn from, and even contribute to. We have a unique opportunity of having over 500 plus developers of all skill levels within this very server, and by working together we can make something, we can really showcase our abilities in a collaborative environment. Oh, I spelled it wrong still. Dang it. Should we, so what do you guys think? Like, honestly, what do you guys think for how we should how should we organize this? I'm totally open to ideas and, what you guys think about the project and how we want to, like, take tickets or whatever to have people, want to check out features that they want to maybe try out or whatnot, or something. I don't know. Um, let's say all skill levels within this very server. Of all skill levels. Working together, we can really showcase our abilities in a collaborative environment. Maybe make a tickets channel and a discussion channel. In tickets, you officially claim a feature you want. The big boss Mike approves it. Tickets channel. Just GitHub issues. What is GitHub issues? What is GitHub issues? The feature on GitHub used for tracking tasks, bug features, and requests and other related work. Task tracking. Assign team members to handle it. Okay. So let's just take this link here. Welcome to the Small Business Manager Community Project. This is our final. There's a lot of interest in opening up the source code to the YouTube, Twitch, and Discord members here. So here we are opening up the project for everyone to look at, learn from, and even contribute to. We have a unique opportunity of having 500 plus developers in this very server of all skill levels, and by working together, we can really showcase our abilities in a collaborative environment. And then here. You said to do Harvard CS50P. You mean the CS50P on Free Code Camp channel? I don't think it's on Free Code Camp. So you just sign up through edx.org, edx.org, with your GitHub account or whatever, and then just choose the free version of the course. Do not pay for the course. There's no benefit to paying for the course, no difference in materials or content, no difference in grading. The only thing is you get an official certificate which has no actual official merit. So do not pay for the course. It's mainly just seen as like a thank you donation almost for, let me have this free content, but just take it for free. Just like I did, CS50P through edx.org. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and pin this message. You guys hear that boom? That was loud. I wonder what that was. My dog's trying to get in. Okay, sweet, you guys. So go check out at the bot. So let's go ahead and put at this here, open source. My dog is scratching, trying to get in. What's going on? What are you trying to get in? All right, I'll let you in. I'll let you in. You scared? You scared? Hello. Hello. All right, you guys. So join the Discord if you guys aren't here. Let's give a shout out to some new members here. Sino, Modern Sword Saint, Eduardo. Welcome in, you guys. Shout out to you guys for joining the Discord here. So this is the Small Business Manager Community Project. Go ahead and give it a star if you guys have been following along with the project for right now. Anyone want to be the first star for the project? And then go ahead and, branch it off or clone it and, or whatnot. So if people want to collab on it, do they clone it or fork it? Both cloning and forking are ways to get a copy of the repo, but they're used in different contexts, especially when collaborating. Here's the difference. Forking for open source collaborations. You fork someone else's repo to your own GitHub account. You make changes in your fork, then you submit a pull request back to the original repo to suggest changes. Best for contributing your projects you don't own. Used when you want to suggest a change to a public project you don't have right access to the original repo. Think of it as, I want to contribute, but I don't have permission, so I'll work on my own copy and then request to merge. Cloning to work locally. You clone a repo, original or your fork, to your local machine to work on it. Okay, got you. So you fork on GitHub, right? You fork the project into your own profile, your own repos, and then you clone that fork onto your local drive, which is where you'll do your work, you'll push it back up to your fork, and then submit a pull request to merge it into my main thing. Gotcha. Sweet. All right, nice. That's awesome. So we'll see over the course of these times if we get any pull requests for this project, whether it be small or just simple bug fixes or optimizations to the code, these contributions can be worthwhile in terms of like marketability for employers. Like, oh, I contributed to a project with X amount of people involved, right? We can really, like I said, use this to our advantage. Okay, so what is next then? What is next on our agenda? Um, that is the question of the hour. So this is the small business manager itself, which we're done with for right now. And then we have the community version as well within my local drive here is SBM community. Interesting. Okay, cool. All right. Well, what is on the agenda now? What do you guys want to do? Play Minecraft? Play Minecraft? If we have we earned some Minecraft after a successful project release? So, what is the proper or more mainstream way for, making improvements or editing a public repo? I For each change, should I be branching off of main being the owner or what? Here's what usually depends on whether you're on your own repo or contributing to someone else's. If you own the repo, you have write access. Mainstream slash best practice. Keep main or master clean and stable. For each new change slash feature or bug fix, create a new branch off of main. So check out main, pull from main, optionally, but keeps things clean. Can you break down those Git commands? So Git checkout main switches you to the main branch. Git pull or updates your local main branch with the latest changes from GitHub. Git checkout on and branch, right? This creates a new branch and switches to it immediately. Dash B equals branch. You're branching off to whatever you're currently on, usually main. Example, checkout feature, add login form. You make your changes here in the new branch. Send your new branch to and its changes to GitHub. Feature slash some new feature, the name of your branch. Compare it and pull request. Interesting. So I have a community repo. Do I need to have a test repo? If you have a community repo where multiple people might contribute, having a test repo isn't required, but it can be really useful depending on how you manage contributions. You draft PRs. a popular setup in many community repos to main is always product ready, where active developer development happens. Contributors make PRs into dev once it's ready and tested, and dev gets merged into main. You just organize inside one repo with a branching strategy. How could I set up a dev branch for the small manager community? It loves that I'm thinking about this, you guys. um, Set up a dev branch for small business. Create it's a great move to keep the main branch clean. So we're gonna go into here. Go cd repos, cd sbm community. That's what I have it as. You got locally named. So we're gonna get checkout main. Okay, we're on main. We're gonna get pull. Okay, I'm up to date. And we're gonna get checkout and branch to dash dev. Dev branch. Okay. Now we're going to get push origin to dev. Now on GitHub, okay, so now we need to go to GitHub. Go to our community project. Okay. And then you can go to your repo settings, branches. Under branch protect rules. Click add rule. Add branch rule. Huh. Add classic branch protection rule set. Under branch protection rules, click add rule, branch name pattern. Check require pull request before merging. Require approvals. Require status checks to pass before merging. If using CI, what is CI? Require review if you want to enforce code review. So what do I name? What is the branch pattern name? You can even enforce these patterns in CL using tools like commit lint, or branch naming hooks. No. For the branch rule, we are talking about what is the name pattern. Extract. For your small business, you might set main, protect, require. Huh. So I go to branches. So I just created the dev branch. What now? Go to your recipe and add rule. In branch pattern, type dev. Type in dev. Require a pull request before merging. Requires signed commits. Now the general workflow should be for new work, git checkout dev pull, check out some new feature. What does require signed commits mean? Every commit push the branch must be cryptographically signed to verify the identify the author. When a commit is signed, GitHub shows verified versus unverified. Contributors must set up or SSH key signing can be a learning curve. It can block public PRs. If you're accepting pull requests, maybe not yet. Okay. So not yet then. So just check require pull request then. Branch protection rules existing in the branch, you type in dev. Require review other settings like status checks. What do those other settings do? Require pull requests. What does it do? Ensures that the pull request must be reviewed or request reviews previously merged. When enabled, all commits must be made to a non-protected branch and submitted via pull request before they can be merged into the branch. That when enabled, pull requests targeting a branch require a number of approvals and no change. So number of approvals, okay. Require pull requests reviews. Choose which status checks must pass before a branch can be merged. That's fine. So we'll create that. Confirm. So do I need this rule for both dev and main? Whether you need the same protection rules for both dev and main depends on how you want to manage your workflow. For the main branch is typically the production ready branch. You want to be extra careful with this one since it reflects a stable version. Recommended rules for main: require pull request reviews. Always ensure that at least one person reviews before merging. If you have like automated tests, good administrators needed to follow. The dev branch is usually where the development integrate new features important to be less critical in main. Okay, so then we'll just add a rule for main. Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah. And then we'll say you just have to require pull requests for main. Okay. Interesting. So basically we have these rule sets, right? Where now that I have to accept pushes into the development branch and as well as into main branch. And so if we get some moderators within this project, they prove that they like the project and they know what it's about. We could make them have write access to the dev branch so they can also approve stuff and then submit those to me to approve into main, basically. How does that work? How does that sound? So what we want to do then is Poopachoo Debbie Downer over here. It's not pointless. We're learning stuff. Nothing is pointless. You're learning stuff from everything. And so this will just give us practice to have a development branch and then a main branch where the project is live. Because my whole goal is that, people that don't code are going to be pulling from this information. So, like, people that don't code that are just business owners that want to have this project on their computer, they can download the main branch and run the current live version. And then we can work on the development branch and add features so we don't impact them at all. Pull requests for the dev branch and the main branch. Now, people who use the program for its purpose can run off main while contributors run off dev. They work off the dev branch. They'll fork or clone the repo, create features off of dev, create features branches off of dev, open pull requests to merge their changes back into dev. You'll review and merge these pull requests into dev after ensuring everything works as expected. The request into dev. Once a set of features or bug fixes is dev is to consider stable and ready for production, you'll merge dev into main. And then for clarity and tracking, you may want to tag the merge as a release. So the flow for contributors: fork or clone the repo, create a feature branch off of dev, make changes, commit them, push, open pull requests. Once merged, sync with main. Open a pull request for that branch tab. So we'll copy this here and put this in the Discord for people to utilize. So for the open source here, let's go ahead and delete this. Paste that there. Pin this. Yeah, we'll remove the pin. Why did that look all funky? What is going on there? Okay, there we go. Let's create a new little emoji here. Their briefcase. Business. Yeah, I like that. All right. I'm gonna paste this into the description of the category. There we go. All right, nice. Hey, Deep Surya, how's it going? Hey, Jawad, how's it going? Welcome in. All right, we have the Small Business Manager Community Project officially uploaded to the Discord, so you guys can go ahead and contribute to that one. So um, now in our thing here, if we go to branches, how can I see the different branches? Oh, two branches, dev and main. Active branches is dev. So this default branch is main, and then dev branch is here, and then active branches is what we're currently working on. Active, yours, oh, dev and me. Okay, interesting. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and open up a leak code. Let's see if we can solve one of these. Come on. There we go. Hey, Mitchie, how's it going? Welcome over on the YouTube this time around. Duplicate emails. This is a SQL query again. I don't want to do a SQL one. I want to code. Customer number orders reverse bits. Number of 1 bits. Given a positive number n, write a function that returns a number of set bits in its binary representation. the set bit number of the value of 1. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're going to say. So we're given an integer n, and we need to convert it to its binary. So we'll say binary number is equal to bin of n, and we say for bit in bin number, if bit equals 1, count plus equals 1. We're going to have a count here equals to 0, and then we're going to return the count. Oh, but bit. 0, 0, 0. So what does the bin actually do of an integer? Let me go ahead and look that up here in my neatcode practice for 191. 191.py. We'll say, no, I don't want to ask. We'll say print bin of 10, or we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we print that, we get this here, binary bin. Okay. For bit in, let's just call this itself, let's call this n, bit in n, print bit. So it is getting each individual bit. And why is it not giving me counts on 1? Count equals 0 for bit in bin num. If bit is equal to 1, count plus equal 1. Return count at the end of the loop. What is NeoVim? People keep saying it. So bin. So then if I say count plus equals to 0. Oh, so maybe it's not an integer. If bit equals to quote 1, count plus equals 1, return count. Is it a string? Just string. Boom, solved it. Nice. That one was easy. That one was easy with the Python bin function. What is going on behind the scenes of the what does the bin do? The bin function of Python converts integer base 10 to its binary representation. This returns with a prefix of 0b followed by a binary digits. This is indicated integer 10. So bin checks the first input is the integer. If the input is integer, it raises a type error. Converts the integer to its binary equivalent. This is done by using division by 2, repeated division, and storing the remainders. This method is similar to how humans convert numbers to binary manually. Binary string creation. The remainders of the divisions by 2 are collected and reversed since the first remainder corresponds to the least significant bit. After the conversion, the 0b prefix is added. Return the result. The final result is returned as a string. So the 10 divided by 2 gives a remainder of 0. Then the quotient is 5. The 5 divided by 2 gives a remainder of 1, and the quotient is 2. Okay, so you just divide by 2 and store the remainders of 0 or 1s. Cool. So this does move pretty quick, but this is O of n. Could we even more so optimize this to, well, it's already moving pretty fast. I mean, could we like, if the remainder is 1, so could we do this? For, so while n is greater than 0, we're going to go ahead and say remainder equals n modulo, n modulo 2 if remainder equals to 1. We're going to count plus equals to 1. We'll have count out front here equals to 0, and then we'll say else continue, and then return count here. So then we'll say n equals to n by 2. So that passed it too. So I think that one was a little bit better, because what we're doing is rather than converting every number, O of n, and then, right, rather than converting and doing every, reduction down, right, by log of n, right? So this first problem here, or my first attempt that I did, I think is O n log n, right? This one here, because I am converting to binary, so log n, I'm converting to binary, so log n, right, dividing by 2 every single time, and then I am iterating over every value of that, right? So or is it 2 log n? Well, is it 2 log n? Is this 2 log n? Whereas this one, right, I'm doing the check while I'm doing the binary conversion, and then I am, right, in this one here, I'm doing the check while I'm doing the binary conversion rather than having to do it over again. So let's ask the MITs. Okay, let's say I solved LEET code 191 pretty easily. I have a question, though, about time complexity. By using the bin, then iterating over every bit in the bin result, that is 2 log n, whereas if I manually do the bin and check for remainder equal to 1 on each loop of the bin, then this is just log n. You're on the right track when you're thinking about time complexity. Using the bin and then iterating over the bits. When you call bin, it converts the integer n to a binary string. The binary represents a number n that's approximately log 2 of n bits. However, the bin function in Python adds the 0b prefix in the result, making the length of the string about 2 times log n because you have to account for the 0b. When you iterate over each bit in the result of bin, you're looping through a string length of O log n. So the time complexity of the overall approach is O log n for the bin call, O log n for the iterating through the bits. Thus the overall time complexity is O log n, not 2 log n. Manually checking each bit without using bin. If you manually perform the conversion to binary using division by 2 and check each bit, it also takes O log n time. The division by 2 method checks each bit continuously, dividing it by 2. Both methods using bin and manual checking in terms of complexity. Each running log 10, not 2. But in the first approach, you do more work. You convert the int to the binary, then iterate over every bit in the string. In the second, you just do it in a single pass. I see what you're trying to say. Right, you're right that the first approach does seem like it involves more steps, so let's dive a bit deeper. Converting the binary, that involves log n steps because a binary representation of n is roughly a log n bits. So you're iterating over the string once. Even though the process involves 2 steps, both steps together still have a time complexity of O log n. And the second one is O log n in terms of complexity, do the work in a single pass. In the terms of time complexity, both approaches are O log n. The difference lies in how the work is done. The bin approach generates the string up front, then iterates through it. So there's an extra step of creating the string. The manual method works in a more streamlined fashion as you directly check the bits without needing to generate a separate string. Even though both approaches are log n, the manual method is more efficient. Aha, we successfully debated the AI here, I think. Yeah, we finished the Excel column names, both the first way and then the inverse way of giving the header and getting the number, or giving the number and giving the header. We finished both of them. So what happens if you just divide by 2 here rather than floor? Yeah, you get off count. So you have to floor it down so you don't get float values. Interesting. I kind of want to see what people have to say about this one. Can we like go to the comments discussion here? Which is more efficient? A, B. What do you guys think? Oh, the heck? There's also a bit more efficient algorithm that's proportional to number of ones. Ask ChatGPT. Okay. So I'll say why did that do that? How did it do that code block? Is it 4 and then it's Python? Like so. Save. And then 4? No. Why? How is it doing this code block? How is it detecting that? Stop doing that. Oh, come on. Oh, whatever. Whatever. Backticks on its own line. Ah, it's whatever. Is there a better way to even solve this problem apart from my current two approaches? Yes, there's a more optimized approach that often used in LeetCode number 191 of 1 bits is known as the Brian-Kernighan algorithm. Brian-Kernighan's algorithm. The idea is to reduce the number of operations by exploiting the property of binary numbers. Each time you set a bit to 1, you turn off the rightmost 1 bit of the number and repeat until the number becomes 0. The process: take the number n. In each iteration, subtract 1 from n and the result. Each time you do this, you reduce the number of 1 bits by 1 and the number of iterations of each bits in n. Okay, so let's say count while n is greater than 0. You say n minus 1 minus n. Oh, and ampersand. Not and minus 1. So you say and ampersand n minus 1 count. So I don't know a lot about these bitwise operators and ampersands and stuff. So then you say count plus equals by 1, and then you say return count here, and that'll do it as well. Can you break down the ampersand operator? The ampersand operator is a bitwise operator that compares each bit of two numbers and returns a 1 if both corresponding bits are 1 and a 0 otherwise. In other words, it performs the AND operation on a bit by bit basis. How it works: for each pair of corresponding bits in the two numbers, the result is 1 if both bits are 1, otherwise, the result is 0. So in A, you have bit 1, 0, so it's 0. So if both of them are 1, you get a result of 1 for this. So n is 10 and binary is this 1, 0, 1, 0. And then we compare that to the binary form of n minus 1, which is 1, 0, 0, 1. So we get a 1 here, we get a 0, and a 0. So we only get 1, 1 found into count. But we do it on each pass. So this equals 1,000. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really like the leak code in either, Poopachu. I'd much rather work on my projects and build projects, but the leak code is what unfortunately is like the industry standard in order to get your feet in the water. It seems like is like they don't even really they want to see projects, but then you got to solve one of these stupid problems live in front of someone when you're nervous and got to like want to throw up. Like that's honestly my biggest deterrent into why I'm not applying to places right now is I have projects to where I think I could put myself out there. I pitched some programming ideas within my current field and am starting to work on projects and merge programming into my current field. But you know, I'm just I really don't want to do. I don't want to solve a leak code problem in front of like a senior dev. Like it's just I don't know, for some reason it just really frightens me if I'm being transparent. Like it just really frightens me. Like I already do I interview fairly well. Like I just treat it as like I'm talking to I guess a normal person. I just try to be kind and convey myself to them like as like a genuine type of person. That's what I really try to do is just break down the walls of like distrust or whatnot or and then just try to make it very friendly and someone that they would enjoy working with but also convey my skills and whatnot. But I just really fear like that I get really nervous when I have to like I don't know I get like I don't get nervous with when like talking to authority or things like I'm very good at like talking with authority, conveying my ideas, pitching my thoughts, making slide decks for the various things I have at work. But there's just something about like this that just seems really daunting to do in front of someone else that has the answer that is judging you the whole time about it and is the basically the yes or no whether you can move on in that field. It's just like it seems such like a make or break moment. And like I don't know, I really think I could be successful like as just a good coworker, a good worker in general. I'm very, very hardworking, but I personally I would just much rather build projects and do that side of things rather than grind away at these trivial algorithms that I really probably wouldn't use very, very much. But I will say that these algorithms have, helped my general coding abilities. By learning about these algorithms, by going through and debugging my loops, I can tell you without a doubt, I have gotten way better at loops, like in night and day. Like being able to do loops and track two pointers across loops, that's a pretty common thing. So I can attest that I have gotten a lot better at that. Before, when I was doing like two sum or doing other things, like or threesome, I was really struggling to understand what the J in tracking and having it lead the I left pointer or whatnot. And now I can kind of really visualize what's happening through these loops a lot better. That's something that the leak code has taught me a lot, is looping and how to better. Hey, Seth Johnson, thanks for your kind words. You're awesome, man. All right, let's go back and see what the next problem is here. We'll probably might have to call it for tonight, but I should be able to come on tomorrow for a little bit longer stream. My lady friend's got to work tomorrow, so she'll be parting ways, and so I'll be able to stream pretty much all afternoon tomorrow. I'm probably gonna hop on around 3 p.m. PST and stream from till like maybe 9 or so. So a good long stream tomorrow. So like let me know what we should start tomorrow. Is there any courses you guys want me to work through and you guys can work through with me? Please let me know in the Discord, so we can start the next thing up. Like I think I wanted to build a fast API framework, chemical statistic reporter to you or whatever, so you could like type in basically within some sort of entry box a molecular formula, and then we sync up to a chemical database that would report information on that existing formula, whether or whatnot. So I tried to clone the small business repos and I adjust some configuration with my Windows environment. Nice, dude. I tried to clone the small business repos and I adjust some configuration with my Windows environment. Awesome, dude. Yeah, how does it work with Windows? I'm curious to know how that comes into play, and if you have the option to like work in that configuration into the project, then feel free to do that, and so then you can push it back, and so we can have it work for both Mac and Windows efficiently. Um, but yeah, did you fork the? So I created, if you saw, I created a dev branch. So work off of the dev branch and then merge it into dev, and then I'll merge dev into main once we have a working thing. So people, small business owners, they can pull from main rather than dev, so that they can keep their environment stable. Yeah, we gotta work with data store within a cloud server or something. That should be our next project, something along those lines. Join the Discord, Seno Potty and Sino Potty Bien, and make some comments here. Like message like, hey, I'm gonna make it this feature. Message in this thread here, and can we? I don't know. What should we do? It's not a thread. That's the thing, right? I don't want to make threads, but what can you add here? You can create a thread. So let's create a thread and we'll call this pull requests. Or we'll say I don't know, because how can we like make sure people aren't, I don't want, how can we organize this well, That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did you fork the project though? So you cloned it. You should try to fork it, I think is what you need to do. You should fork it um and then clone it onto your local. So then if I go here, so the small business manager, this is the small business manager that's private. Yeah, this one's private. This is one that I was working on, that I built and then submitted. And then you have a public one here for the community. These are our contributions so far for 2025. So a good stack of contributions going. January 17th, I did nothing this month. What happened here? All right. Valid phone numbers. Given a text file that contains a list of phone numbers, one per line, write a one-liner bash script to print all the valid phone numbers. Oh, I don't know bash. Hey, cruising dude, how's it going, man? Welcome back in. If you guys are on the stream, leave a thumbs up. It really, really helps. Trust me, you guys, it truly helps to keep YouTube pushing our stuff forward. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Saturday. It's not easy to jump in here and do some studying on a Saturday. So give yourselves a round of applause, pat on the back for that. You guys are awesome. Working on yourselves, working on your studying. What are you guys working on? If you guys did you guys finish up your school year? Let me know what you guys are working on and studying for finals, or are you guys done? Reverse bits here. Reverse bits of a given 32-bit unsigned integer. Note. Note that in some languages, such as Java, there is no unsigned integer type. Okay, whatever. So input is this, output is this. The input is a binary string that represents the unsigned integer 432615996, so return, which is the binary representation of its inverse. Okay. So we have to just invert all the values. So zero, no, this is stays. So what do? We say reverse bits. Oh, okay. So zero, zero. Ugh, Python's pretty easy. Can we just do this? Can we just do this? Is an unsigned integer? Yeah. Then we'll do n unknown format code for type str. So I tried to convert it to a string and then flip it using string and then returning the value. Yesterday and today I learned how to use the statement assert in the command pytest. Nice, dude. Is that from CS50P? When you learned those from? I need to get better at writing pytest for my stuff. But I don't really like know when to write them and like really like how to write tests really like for my current projects I just try all of the edge cases I can think of by actually physically doing the cases, like in being the user, right? So, what is the difference really? Okay, so we're trying to convert a string. So why didn't this work last time? Let's just say this is M. Let's say M and return M. Unknown code B for object type stir. What is this? What is this? That error means you're trying to format a string using code format that's only valid for integer specific B. 101 is a string and B format works with integers. Is N already a string? Yeah, it's an int. So why can't I convert n? Why can't I convert to a str? In context of leet code 190. Don't show me code. But you gave it a string instead. Okay, so let's say n equals stir n, and then let's return int n back. Does it want an integer back? So output was 0, 0, 0. So I gave the same string back. So this one's 0, 0, 0 with 4, and this has 5 out front. 5 out front. So this just didn't flip. Why did this not flip? You take the integer, convert it to a string, flip it, right? That's how you flip a string, right? String n equals to this. So why isn't that working? You're treating the integer n like it's already a binary string, but it's just a regular decimal number. So when you do this, you're just reversing the decimal digits, not the bits. Example, input is this, so the string becomes this. Reversing it gives this, and turning that into an int gives you this. You're given a number, you need to see its bit level binary form, the zeros and ones that make it up. You reverse those bits, not the digits of the number. Okay, so we'll go bin n. Okay, so we go so we'll just take this, we'll say bin num is equal to 0 while n while n is greater than 0, let's go ahead and call remainder equals to n modulo 2. We'll say bin num stir bin num plus equals remainder stir at the end of this return int bin num -1. And we got floor n by 2. Huh. Hey Ayush, how's it going? Watching Introduction to Programming with Python, 2 fifths done with it. Nice, dude. Yeah, I finished that one last year. That was my first ever introduction. That's a great course. I read it with Python Crash Course. Really helped solidify. It's not. There's just a bot account, Mahan. They come in every single day. It's just a different account every single time. Okay, so it needs to happen on the binary string, not the decimal string. So let's do this. Okay, so let's just print n. What is n here? Okay, n is the decimal string. So we'll say bin num equals to bin stir is equal to bin on n. We then say bin stir equals to bin stir -1, and we return what is it? Is it return the chur of binster? So we got to slice off that binary thing, right? So binster we need to slice off start at index. Hey Samrat, how's it going? Yeah, reverse bits here. So we get the binary representation of the integer in string format. We flip it, and we want to pop right. So this is giving me this, and I need to get rid of these two values at the end. So bin stir, right? If we go here, make a slice, or let's go bin stir, and then let's do int dot pop. We want to do right. We have to do it to an integer. We have to pop. No. Can you dot pop on an int? No, I don't think so. So we need to remove so start, stop, step. Start, stop, stop. So if we start at index 2 and run that forward, what does that give us? Okay, so now it's trying to 0, 1, 2, just get those. So that's what it's reversing. So we want to stop on index 1. So then if we print the bin stir here, what do we get? Huh. We want to slice off the last 2 bits. So we convert it to bin stir. Or we say bin stir equals to bin stir. We're going to slice off the length of bin stir less 2. Let me print bin stir here. No, so we're wanting to get rid of the first 2 because we haven't flipped it yet. So we're going to go 2 forward on a slice. Now we get this. which is not the right output. We're missing all of these out front. What if I print at each point in time here? What do I get? Okay, so we convert it to a binary string. We slice off the first two characters, and then we flip it and return an integer of that. Huh. What is this? Huh. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna look into how you're parsing the data and conversion before returning. Okay, so let's go to here. Let's do this. This is 190. Okay. We're taking in binary string, right? And then we're saying n is equal to some value here. Right? So n is this. So now we bin it. Okay, let's see here. Let's just do the bin and print the bin stir. So this is what we get, right? We convert it to its binary representation. We then slice off the first two characters. Okay, so that takes off the first two characters. We then flip the string. Right, that flipped it, and then we print now we go bin now chur stir is equal to chur on the bin stir print chur stir. Int bin stir so if I go int on bin then prints chur stir, it converts it to an int. Is here to binary 10. is returning it back integer form. And what if I take this? That's not. That represents this integer. Since when? I don't. That's not giving me the same output. Right. Bin of n is giving me this, which is not the same. It's what they're giving me here. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. We streamed for 2 hours and 45 minutes. We pushed up our public repo for the Small Business Manager community version. So go ahead and take a peek at this one. Go ahead and fork off into your own local area and go ahead and start adding on features and committing onto the dev branch and pushing those in for pull requests. And yeah, it'll be a great opportunity to collaborate with a group of users and to create a community project with everybody working together. Yeah, I'll need to definitely look up some more stuff on binary. I'm not that great at the binary stuff. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe, follow on, hit the thumbs up. If you guys are here, it really, really helps the stream and supports it. Base 2. Oh, you can have a base on integer. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look up some techniques here for dealing with this one. Um, but yeah, so go ahead and push up, do some pull requests, optimize the code that I currently written. There's definitely some opportunities to improve the current code, code source and, optimize it further. This is the community project where I pushed up my final project for Harvard CS50X 2025 into a application for you guys to get access to and to be able to contribute to. We also completed some leak code today, and we read out of um, a little bit of that linear programming that we're learning about for my work. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. My lady friend is leaving me tomorrow, so she'll be gone, and I'll be able to stream around, probably around 3 p.m. to hopefully maybe even around like 9 p.m. So like a 6 hour or so stream tomorrow. So be here tomorrow for a good long study session. Bring materials that you want to study. Please, if you guys unknown. Samrat, Mahan, Sinopati. If you guys have any suggestions for future courses that we should take for our next, I'm looking for our next thing we want to do. Right, we're gonna continue with our reading. We're gonna continue with the books, but we need. I want to keep going and keep the momentum and the snowball going with the material learning and the compounding. So mention in the Discord if you guys have any materials you think would be useful for me to look into and learn. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Chat with me in the Discord offline.